Hello everybody, welcome to this impromptu live direct from Paraty, or as I say, Paraty. Yeah, I'm on this beach here. It's not really the best beach that they have in this area. You can still go in the water, but it doesn't look that clean, so it's all right. Let me just give you guys a look at what it looks like here. That's it there. It's not bad. I don't think it's heavily polluted, but it doesn't look very enticing. So it's my first time in Paraty. I'll be leaving tomorrow, go back home. It's a nice town. It's a nice place. I mean, it's got a mix of, historical stuff, a mix of like restaurants, places to eat, bars. You can go to these really cool excursions by boat or by jeep, or you can even take Uber, whatever you want. And you can go all different types of beaches. You can go to like waterfalls. It's got, a little bit of everything for everybody, really. So I don't think you'd be disappointed if you were to come here and spend a couple days. I would say the minimum you should stay is 2 days, at least 48 hours, because you can sort of do something. You can spend 1 day relaxing, whatever you want, trying some food. There's a dog here. Hey, somebody's dog. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Whoever's in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me okay. Welcome to the chat. It's a little noisy here, but it's the end of the weekend, so everyone's trying to pack in as much as they can before they have to go back to work. It's getting dark here as well. I don't know if that's because where we're at, but it's a nice town. I mean, you can do free walking tours. There's a lot to do here. I wouldn't say it's the best town I've been to. I would still prefer like as a beach town, Arraial do Cabo or Cabo Frio. What's up, Brandon? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I'm in Paraty. Have you been here before? I think you have. I think you told me. What was I saying? Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's my favorite place, but it's definitely like worth coming to check out here. It's got a lot of stuff to do. The food is pretty good. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but I mean, if you're paying in dollars or whatever, you won't really feel it that much. So there's that element. Whenever it's a touristy town, things are going to cost a little bit more. That's just the way it is. It's the same thing if you go to Copacabana rather than like a small little neighborhood in the north zone of Rio. There's going to be price differences. I wouldn't say it's price gouging. It's just the way it is for tourism. So I was actually very lucky here as well with the weather. The weather's been excellent. Very hot, sunny. Couldn't ask for better weather. I just noticed in the horizon, I think I can see, I don't know if that's Petropolis. I don't think so, not from this distance, but the mountainous region, sorry, yeah. If you guys have been here, leave some comments if you enjoyed Paraty or not. I enjoyed it. I would come back. I wouldn't come back so soon, but I would come back. There's a few other things that I wanted to do here. I was gonna I did a tour yesterday, a Jeep tour to like various beaches, which is all right. I wanted to do like the waterfall tour, but I just was not feeling any 5-6 hour excursion, today. I did that yesterday, so for me it's like I did a one and done thing. Today I sort of did a walking tour, tried some food and hung out or whatever. I didn't really even do much vlogging today. Actually, I didn't do any vlogging today. I did it the last 2 days, but it's worth coming to check out. Yeah, I did enjoy the coastal drive. I took a bus here, which was really comfortable. It's relatively cheap. I mean, a return ticket to come to Paraty is about, I think it was $50, 50 Canadian. So I don't know, like 40 US, something like that, for a return ticket from downtown Rio until you get to here. So it's not bad. Comfortable bus, I think they do a few stops along the way, but my bus didn't really have that many people on it, so we didn't stop too often. We had one stop for like a breakfast stop, which lasts about 15 minutes, and then we continue along the way. People get off at different areas. Some people get on. You know how it is. It's about, my bus ride was about 4.5 hours, so it really varies on how many stops you have. If it's a full bus, the likelihood of you stopping many times is going to be high because not everyone's going to Paraty, right? That's like the final destination. You can actually go to Angra dos Reis or Ilha Grande, I think, in that area by the same bus. One thing that you want to know about Paraty is you got to bring your good walking shoes because you're going to do quite a bit of walking. It's not as bad as Ouro Preto because it's not as hilly, but the stone walkways or pathways are murder on your feet. Like I walked one day with flip-flops. It was okay, but you gotta constantly keep looking down and watch where you're stepping. Otherwise, you could have a tumble. It's that screwed up, It's like 200 years old. So the city itself, when it was founded, is about 357 years old. So it's not as old as like Rio. But they had settlers here up to 500 years ago, but it was kind of like unofficial, when they met the natives, the Europeans and whatnot. So, but Paraty, it's worth it. I like the fact that you have the history part, but you also have the food, a lot of different options. Nighttime, the nighttime, I would say, is if you like to people watch. And the streets are set up kind of like where you have patio areas on the side, and you can just sit there, order something, eat something, and just like chill for a few hours and watch so many people walking by. It's pretty cool. A lot of different foreigners come here. I heard a lot of Spanish speakers here. I heard a lot of English actually, so a lot of people from different parts of the English-speaking world came here. A few Americans, a few British. So it's definitely a place that everybody wants to check out for sure. So I highly recommend it. Whoever's in the chat, hit the like. And if you have any questions about Paraty, or if you've any comments, if you've been here, feel free to type it in the comments box. What else can I say about Paraty? It's got a lot of history here, that's for sure. Not exactly a positive historical aspect of the country because there was a lot of slavery going on here, as most of Brazil really back in the day. Here was really famous for gold, coffee, and also cachaça, which a big producer of cachaça here. Insane amount of cachaça is produced here. There's so many different companies that produce it here and sell it. You can even sample if you want. There's tours you can go on. Here's one example of something you can get. This is not for me, guys. This is for a friend. I don't drink it, really. So this is one you can buy, it's like a sampler, but it's more of a shot. I think it was 15 or 18 reais, something like that. Not bad. This one is doce de leite, or condensed sweet milk. I don't know if you guys have had that. So, and this is one of the brands that you can get here, Coqueiro. You'll see that if you come here. I think there's 3 or 4 major companies that produce and sell here, and they actually sell Brazil-wide, so like across the country. Let's see here. There is a Quilombo community there too. Yeah, I think there is, and I don't know if there's a native tribe that still lives here. I didn't get to go to the village. Maybe that's the name of it, but there's still a population of native Brazilians living here, indigenous people living here. You can actually go on a tour. I think it's like 220 reais, or I don't know. I didn't really research that much. Timing is, when you're planning your tours and stuff, there's not that much time. Fred Ford, how many I guess days would you stay at Paraty? I would say minimum of at least 2. Like if you get here, not counting the travel day, like for example, I got here on Friday around noonish, and I'm staying, so I had Saturday, I still had Friday, but I don't count that. I had Saturday, Sunday, and then I leave on the Monday. So you have kind of like 2.5 days. It's more than enough time if you want to check the historical, do at least one excursion by boat or whatever, by Jeep, visit the waterfalls. They're just long excursions. That's the only thing I have against them. I mean, it's worth the money. The one I did yesterday was I think it was 120 reais for a 5.5 hour. Basically, you get in a Jeep, they pick you up right where you're staying, you go to multiple locations, they have a stop for lunch. It was all right. Like, I would have preferred to do the waterfall tour, but I really kind of wanted to check out the beaches, and if the weather wasn't going to be good the next day, what was I saying? Yeah, I would have preferred the waterfall one. The beach one was okay. The beaches are wonderful, but you got to sort of travel outside of the town to get to them. You can take Uber, you can take a bus if you feel like, but they have Jeep tours and you're sort of with a guide and whatever. If you just want to chill on the beach, don't do the excursion. Just go on, take an Uber, or if you drove here, drive there. It's just not worth, in my opinion, it's not worth the excursion to go to the beaches. You can get there kind of on your own and just chill. I don't like the constraints, you know, that's my thing. That's my problem with it. So the waterfall one would have been cooler because the Jeep kind of goes through the forest, and then you get to stop at these really, really amazing waterfalls. If you check it up, look online, you can see them. They're beautiful. It's that one is 100 reais to take that tour. But again, they're long days, so you wanna plan correctly. Which tour did you do, Brendan? The beach one, like the Jeep, or the waterfalls? What's up, Black Circle? How you doing? Welcome to the live. Yeah, I mean, it's worth it doing one, but it's just like, for example, the pickup was about just before 11 a.m. Then you got to go pick up other people depending on where you are in the town. And then you get home maybe like 5. So yeah, you go to the beaches, you stop for lunch. The lunch is not included, so you got to buy your own. But the food was great at this restaurant. Like the fish plate I had, amazing, amazing, amazing. Everything was fresh and prepared like literally incredibly. I can't complain about the food. And the whole thing was about 170 reais for 2 people, so not bad. Then at the end, they take you to this cachaça / cheese producing restaurant / I don't know, location. You get to try some cheese, you can buy some if you want, you can try some cachaça. It's kind of cool. I mean, it only lasts about 20 minutes, and then they drop you off at home. So it's kind of a long excursion. It's like 5 to 6 hours, I would say. Definitely worth doing one of them. I didn't do a boat one this time around because I've done them in the past at other locations. If I was to come back, I would probably do a schooner tour where you can sort of go out, and not a party one. I would take just like the chilling out one, and where you can just swim in the crystal clear blue water. I wanted to kind of do that, but whatever, I can always come back. Oh, you did the beach tour, okay. We went on our, you went on your own? We could have done that, but I didn't know if Uber would go there or not, but I saw an Uber when I was there, so I guess they do take you back and forth. I probably should have done that. It was all right. You know, the Jeep was kind of cool to go in, but I don't like being stuck, you know, I like to go and do my own thing. Like, I don't blame you for wanting to go off on your own. Because it's like, you get to a beach, it's like, okay, we have 30 minutes here, or 20 minutes, or whatever. And what if the beach is like amazing, and you're like, you want to just stay much, much longer than is allotted? You can't really, unless you want to return on your own. That happened to me in Arraial do Cabo a few years ago. Like, having about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and you're like, oh, I just want to stay here, I want to stay a lot longer, but it never pans out that way. TS, what's your favorite state? Did you feel a lot of difference? My favorite state? It's hard to pinpoint a favorite state because I like something from each one of them. I would have to say so far Rio, because you have a bit of everything. You can go to the city, you can go outside to a beach town. Not every state has that, where you can have a touristy city like literally the city of Rio, or you can go out to Arraial do Cabo, or you can come here. There's still historical stuff wherever you go around the state. So it's, I would say for activity-wise and a variety of things to do, Rio is still there. But I liked Santa Catarina. I liked, Amazonas. I liked Amazonas a lot. São Paulo, I didn't explore the state enough, so I can't really say. But there is differences. Like if you go to Rio Grande do Sul, people are different. The atmosphere is different. It's quite a bit different. than opposed to Sao Paulo or Rio, or if you go to Amazonas, you'll feel it. Minas Gerais, I would say, is also one of my favorite states because the food is incredible. People were very friendly. Nobody gets up into your business. Like Rio has that problem, in my opinion. People want to know everything about you. Minas, they're chatty and they'll talk to you, but they're not in, you know, they'll mind their own business. Now they won't go too far. But I would recommend Minas Gerais, like Belo Horizonte or Ouro Preto, if you like historical stuff, good cheeses, foods, whatever. The food is incredible in Minas, for sure. Better than Rio, in my opinion. Yeah. If any of you guys have been here, let me know. I want to know what your opinions are. Even for those of you who aren't in the live itself and are watching this after the fact, I want to know what you think about Paraty, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Coincidentally enough, I had a friend who lived here for a better part of the year, maybe back in 2014, 15, and he was an English teacher. He liked the kind of the atmosphere, how it was like really chill. It's a very safe town as well, I would say. I didn't notice any really sketchy stuff. He found it difficult to get clients. So for someone who is a English teacher and is doing like one-on-one classes as opposed to online or at a school, you'll find it difficult to make enough money to sort of get by here, if you need the money that you're making, you know. If you're a digital nomad, hell, it's worth passing through here and staying, you know, multiple days, weeks, whatever, you know. It's a really chill town, I would say, for sure. There's something else I was going to say about Paraty, but it left me. It'll come to me. Fred Ford, would you live in BH if you didn't live in Rio? It's probably not. The only reason it's not because it's a bad city or anything like that. I enjoyed it, but I like the beaches. I like being close to the water. So for me, yeah, they have waterfalls there and things like that, but it's a little too far for me to get to the beach. I know that sounds really kind of steep or shallow when it comes to being only one thing, but it's very important for me. I like that feeling, just coming, like for example here, I'll show you guys who are in the chat just what this beach is like you don't get this there. I don't know how well the image is, but you just don't get that in BH, you know. This kid's screaming his lungs off, man. Yeah, Belo Horizonte is a nice city to visit. It's definitely a place that you want. I don't know, many people, if you like cities and if you don't care about beaches, it could be the place for you. I mean, it's got some stuff to do. If you're not a huge partier, or they still got the nightlife there, but they have a pretty good nightlife here as well. No, obrigado. Obrigado. Guy selling peanuts here. Yeah, behind me, I don't know if you can see that, kind of a ways away. There's a church view. Yeah, I think it's too far from here. Maybe it's too far. Yeah, no, I can see it. Just right in the distance there, right there. I know what I was gonna say now. So, this place, you have to choose the right time to come because they get a lot of rain here. And one of the tour guy that told me, he's like, it's almost as much rain as the Amazon rainforest. Strangely enough, in this part of Rio. The rest of Rio does not get as much rain, but here it gets a lot of rain. And the other interesting, so I mean, if you don't choose the right time, you could your trip will be rained out. And those months are usually between like November and March. After March, like I'm in here in March and the weather is really, really good. April, May, June, July would probably be the best months to come here. It's not going to be as hot and it's going to be not so rainy. It'll be a dry season, so you get more out of the day. You know, if it's rainy, you can't really do much. You can't go on boat tours and things like that. Forget it. Another interesting fact is the city was built strangely that back in the day, in many countries in the West, they would toss their sewage out the window onto the street. There was no sanitation, no way to get rid of no toilets, none of that stuff. So they would toss it out the window. Interesting enough, the sea rises, which is the tide, would come in to the streets and take away the sewage. So it's like an automatic cleaning, twice a day. Then people were getting sick and tired of that. It's a little history lesson. People were getting sick and tired of it, that they built sort of a perimeter around parts of the old quarter of the city. It's generally only in the old quarter of the city where I'm at, basically. And the water, the tide can't get into the certain streets, which is all like big stone, old stone streets. There is still a part of the town that the water does rise and the sea level comes in, but it's really not that bad. The tour guide showed us today, which was really cool. So you got that, but I would be more concerned with the rain. Yeah, Brendan, I feel you. I need the beach too. At least most of the year. I mean, if I was a digital nomad and I was just sort of going all over the place, it wouldn't be a big deal. But if I'm in a specific location and I'm living there long term, I need the water. I need the beach, man. That's just me. Fred Ford, any plans to visit Praia da Pipa? Oh yeah, definitely. I will be going to the northeast at some point. I'm hoping this year. I've got a bunch of different places in mind to visit. I'm planning on going to Espírito Santo, which is just a state northeast of Rio. I think it's smaller than the state of Rio. I got a few things planned for sure, a few places planned definitely in mind. I'm not going to do a very long live here, maybe about 30 minutes. It's getting kind of dark here and there's no lighting, so it's okay for now, but just letting you guys know. When did you come to Paraty, Brandon? Did you enjoy it, by the way? Yeah, I'll be leaving tomorrow morning. Heading out of here tomorrow. The Posada I was staying at was packed, and I mean packed. If you don't get up to get the breakfast, the free breakfast they provide, there basically is nothing left. So a lot of people were here this weekend. It was packed. I'll be publishing a video in the coming days, coming weeks, where I walked around the nightlife here. Just a quick, I think it was a 10-15 minute video just to show you guys how busy it is. The people watching here is great, that's for sure. Oh, you were here a few years ago, okay. Yeah, June is probably a good time to come. No rain. I don't know why it rains a lot here. There's no real explanation. Maybe it's just because of where it's located on the map, like into the ocean. I have no idea. Ilha Grande is the same thing. It can end up raining a lot at certain months too. Yeah, man, post the video if you got a video, post it. I'll check it out. I've been wanting to come to Paraty for the last 5, 6, 7 years, so I'm getting a lot of places sort of off the checklist. It's been one of those places I wanted to come to. I would still say if you could only choose one between Paraty and maybe like Búzios or Arraial do Cabo, I would say go out there because it's a less of a distance to get to, and I don't know. It's a different vibe. Plus, you can visit all three places, like Cabo Frio, Búzios, Arraial do Cabo, all within the same weekend. They're like 20-30 minutes away by car, each of them. Like if you hop, they're next door to each other. I would say go there first. They don't have as much history as Paraty has, but it's cool. If you can do both, do both. I would definitely recommend that. Ubatuba. I've heard of it, but I don't remember where it is. You have to let me know where that place is. It rings a bell, but I don't remember which state. I think it's northeast Brazil, but I could be wrong. There's so many places in Brazil that I gotta get to, man. It's so like they say, so many places, so little time, right? But I will make my ways out. I've been traveling in quite a few places, more than I ever have, in the last couple of years. It's been fun. Oh, it's next to Paraty in São Paulo. Oh, okay. I was way off. I have not been there, but if I go back to the state of São Paulo, I will probably make a trip over there or something. There's a few places I want to go to in São Paulo, like Campos de Jordão. I want to go to Santos, which has some nice beaches in the south of São Paulo. It would be pretty cool to go to. I've only been to the city of São Paulo. I haven't been anywhere else there, so obviously there's better places to go rather than just the city of São Paulo. São Paulo is not just the big city. I don't know where my next trip exactly will be. I'm not even sure if I'll be traveling to Canada in the coming months. I'm not sure, but definitely be going to some new places in Brazil. I still have 10 months left, 9 months left of the year, so lots of time to plan some trips, and hopefully there'll be more adventures. I prefer doing the vlogs whenever I go somewhere new. I have more fun with those. I'll do a live still. I'll do some lives, but I've had way more fun doing vlogs than like informative videos. I'll do some. I'll start doing some more informative videos, but I'll be honest, I got kind of bored with those. Matt, besides Rio and São Paulo, when can gringos go for vacation where a lot of people speak English? It's been 6 years since I was last in Brazil and I want to go back. To be honest with you, man, not a lot of Brazilians speak English overall. From my experience, the city of São Paulo is where most people speak English, because a lot of them want to take classes here, you know, in Brazil. If they're going to learn something, they prefer to do it by taking classes. And not everybody has the money to afford classes here. So really finding places where English is widely spoken, I would say São Paulo city is the place that you're going to find more people. Rio has a little bit. It's definitely lacking in like I always say in the touristy areas, they got to try and reinforce that and try to get some, at least at the hotels or the tour groups. I noticed here they had one of the tours in English where it was like a free walking tour, one in English and one in Portuguese. So it's growing, but it's very slow, at snail's pace, you know. Just expect wherever you go in Brazil that they're not going to speak English, so you got to be prepared for that. And as for regions to go, oh man, there's lots. I would say do Rio, São Paulo if you've never been here. You said you've been to Brazil. I want to go to Northeast because it's just a different type of culture there. I can't recommend it because I haven't been there, but from what I heard, people enjoy it there. So I would definitely recommend that. Amazonas, if you like nature and you want to visit the rainforest, I had fun in Manaus. That was cool. A lot of different tours there, man. No one speaks English up there at all. So yeah, don't expect a lot of English speakers in Brazil. It definitely lacks. It's lacking, unfortunately. It's just the affordability, and a lot of people simply do not have the time to take classes. People are working like crazy here to make ends meet. It is what it is, you know. Yeah, but Brazil is a wonderful place to visit. Even if you don't want to live here, and you like tropical places and you like a very strong culture, Brazil is the place to be. That's why I recommend Paraty. If you want to learn some of the historic, you can get a free walking tour in English, so you can learn about the city, the town in English. Some of the shops have people that speak English, some don't, obviously. But there's always a way around that, you know. We make do, we get by. It's point and whatever, translator. I don't know. There's always ways. I always say people don't not come here because you don't speak Portuguese, or don't not come here because people don't speak English. It's just, yeah, that's just what it is. A lot of countries around the world that just don't speak English. It's growing. It is going to be the universal language, I believe, in the world. So, what else can I talk about Paraty? Very safe city, like I said. If you walk around nighttime, there's one part of town that someone was telling me that's kind of dodgy, but as long as you don't go in there at nighttime, you should be fine. It's kind of like on the other side of town. It looks kind of like a favela, but it doesn't stand out as much as a favela, like if the ones in Rio or other parts of the country. But you can kind of tell. It doesn't look so dodgy, but you can kind of tell. So he recommends not going to that area at night specifically, but they don't really go. No one harms tourists because they don't want to. They're mainly just trying to sell drugs or whatever. They don't want to stir up some trouble, because you know the police and whatever will be up after them right away, because this is a very touristy destination, mainly for Brazilians, but it's open for everybody, you know. Matt, thanks. We've been to Leblon as well as Itaim Bibi in São Paulo. Never heard of that. Was just looking for somewhere else cool. Can Americans still make good money in Brazil teaching English? The only way, from my experience and from other people that I know that were teaching English, you can't really make much money in the schools. You can kind of break even. That they'll pay your bills here and whatnot, But I don't know what they're paying now, but this was 10 years ago that I was teaching here at a school. They paid me, I think it was no more than 700 reais per month. And if you're living in the south zone of Rio, that ain't gonna pay your bills. But if you're living in the north zone, probably will pay for a small apartment. I don't know what the prices are, so don't quote me on it. But the way to kind of make enough money where you have time, you don't have to work as many hours, but it pays your bills here, and maybe make a little extra, you'd have to teach private classes online. That would be, or in person. That would be the only way to do it, because you can sort of be autonomous and sell your classes at a price that, you know, people who have money will be able to pay. São Paulo is probably the best place where you can find students for sure. Rio, not so much. You might be able to break even, but not as many people have money in Rio. But São Paulo, they have a lot of you know, business type people that, you know, hardworking, you know, not blue collar, but you know, people work in offices and work as doctors. Usually my students end up like doctors, lawyers, and things like that. They make pretty good money, so they can afford to pay basically whatever you're asking. I was charging just 4 years ago 110 reais, something like that, which is like 25 US per hour per class, because I charged 1 hour classes. Not bad. 25. I mean, especially if you got a bunch of students, you'd be making pretty decent money, and you can make your own schedule. You can do whatever. You have more freedom. That's what I would suggest. Now, getting the students, that's a little bit more difficult, but it is possible. I'll do another video on that. I won't talk about that today, but yeah, Paraty. I wouldn't recommend the beaches here so much. They're kind of like, not dirty, but they're just dark water, and I prefer the crystal clear water. But I'm not criticizing, you know, people. I see them in the water, so it can't be that contaminated. But it's a wonderful town to be in. It starts getting busier in the downtown and the historical part around like this time, 5 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. and then goes until about 11ish. That's the last point I'm going to mention in this live that is important to know. So one guy was telling us that it used to be open specifically on weekends. I don't know about during the week, but until like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, you know, weekends, like people want to be out late drinking and eating or whatever, right? So when the pandemic hit, for some reason the city council and the mayor reduced the hours that they could be open for some reason. I don't know what the reason was. Maybe it was during the pandemic. I have no idea. So now places are pretty much only open. I found maybe 2 places that were open till midnight, and then the rest of the place is all closed by 10:30, 11. It's closed. Everyone starts leaving, and it's really weird. And it's like Friday, Saturday night, and no one's out. So that's just something to know about if you come here. There's no late night stuff happening. Maybe small little, you know, corner bars that you can find throughout the town, but yeah, the main touristy areas, everything closes relatively early. So I think I'm gonna end the live here. It's getting kind of dark here, but any last questions, comments about Paraty? I just figured I would do this random live just to sort of also mark that I've been here. I try to do a live in every place, a new place that I go to, you know. But if nobody has any questions, comments, but if you're watching this video after the fact, feel free to leave a comment or question. What did you think of Paraty? Did you like it? Was it worth coming out to check this place out? You know, it's definitely really, I liked it. I didn't know what to think. You never know when you go to a new place. So I thank you guys for watching this live. For any of you who are in, what's next on your travels? Oh, I mentioned earlier, I might be going to Espírito Santo. Well, I will try to get there. So like Vitória and Vila Velha, small state. I figured I'll do some vlogs there and maybe a live and whatever. Just check out the vibes there. I have some videos I still need to post, so I'm kind of backlogged. Fred Ford, yeah, it's my pleasure, man. I'm glad that people are enjoying the content. Slowly growing on my channel. It's all right. It's about the journey, not the end destination. But other places I'm thinking of going to is the Northeast as well, Brendan. Not sure where else. I'm not going to the south of Brazil, at least for a while. I mean, I did that last year. Probably northeast. I don't know. We'll see. My plan is to go visit every state at least once, in my life. So, even the ones no one goes to. I forget some of the names. Next to the Amazon, Rondônia. I'll go there at some point. Gotta do Bahia. Yeah, I'll do Bahia at some point. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's dangerous. Don't use your camera." Or whatever. We'll see. I've been in dangerous situations before, so it really doesn't faze me. I guess I'll wait till the 36-minute mark and then I'll sign off. Anybody has anything else to say? Any last words? And then I'll leave. Hope to see you soon too, Brendan, by the way, when you get back to Brazil. Gotta enjoy your life, man. Well, it lasts. We're not here forever. No one's here forever. Check out Brazil, guys. Check out Paraty. It's worth it. Really friendly people who live here, by the way. People are very friendly here. Except for one person specifically on our tour yesterday, but you'll see in the video that I'm gonna post upcoming. Just rude to the guy working there, man. It was, yeah, crazy. You'll be back soon for sure, man. Okay, 37 mark, I'm gonna exit. And one last thing, really cool, if you like Instagram and all that stuff, good places to take Instagram photos, you know, selfies, things like that. I don't really care too much about that. I don't post on Instagram much at all, but if that's your thing, it's got that too, for sure. Great food. I think I mentioned that earlier. But if a place doesn't have good food, man, that it's not gonna make it worth it, no matter where you go. If the food's crap, it makes the experience way different. All right, I'm signing off, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye for now from Paraty.